What if I told you that the United States government once ran a secret program that drugged unknowing citizens with LSD, performed brutal psychological experiments, and attempted to erase human minds? This is not science fiction. This is the shocking story of the Project MKUltra. For decades, this clandestine CIA program operated in the shadows, violating basic human rights in the name of national security. Today, we're going to uncover the terrifying truth about one of the most disturbing chapters in American history. Stick around as we explore the origins, the experiments, the victims, and the cover-up of the Project MKUltra. To understand why MKUltra began, we need to go back to the early Cold War. The 1950s were a time of intense paranoia, with the CIA convinced that Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean agents had developed advanced mind control techniques. There were rumors of brainwashing and fears that the US was falling behind in this new psychological battlefield. In response to these perceived threats, CIA Director Allen Dulles officially approved Project MKUltra on April 13, 1953. The program's goals were stark: develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. Heading this controversial program was Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist who would become known as the Black Sorcerer or Dirty Trickster within the agency. Gottlieb was the CIA's chief poison maker and mind control expert, a man willing to cross any ethical boundary in search for ways to control human behavior. But MKUltra didn't emerge from nowhere. It was preceded by earlier mind control projects with equally peculiar names. Project Bluebird, for example, began in 1950, followed by Project Artichoke in 1951. These programs evolved into MKUltra, which will become the most extensive and notorious of all of them. The methods employed in MKUltra experiments were what we can describe as nightmares. The program used numerous approaches to manipulate mental states and brain functions, including chemical techniques, psychological manipulation, physical torture. At the heart of MKUltra was LSD. In 1953, Gottlieb arranged for the CIA to spend $240,000. That would be equivalent to over $4 million today. That was to buy the entire global supply of the drug. The agency later contracted with pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly to manufacture more, ensuring an endless supply for their experiments. One of the most notorious aspects was Operation Midnight Climax, run by federal narcotics agent George White. The CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York where sex workers would lure unsuspecting men, then drug them with LSD while CIA agents observed their reactions through two-way mirrors. Perhaps most disturbing was the sheer scale of institutional involvement. The program operated through at least 80 institutions, including 44 colleges and universities, 12 hospitals, and numerous prisons and pharmaceutical companies. And many of these institutions were unaware that they were participating in CIA research, as the agency used front organizations to fund the work. The human cost of MKUltra has no end. The program engaged in illegal activities using US and Canadian citizens, since they were unaware that they were just test subjects. This included marginalized communities, prisoners, mentally ill patients, and even children. One of the most tragic cases was that of Frank Olson, a US Army scientist working with the CIA. In 1953, at CIA retreat, Olson was secretly dosed with LSD without his knowledge. Days later, he fell to his death from a New York hotel window in what was officially ruled as a suicide. Decades later, a second autopsy revealed injuries inconsistent with suicide, suggesting that Olson might have been murdered because he wanted to leave the program. His family eventually received a $750,000 settlement and personal apologies from President Gerald Ford and CIA Director William Colby. In Canada, Dr. Donald Ewen at Montreal's Allen Memorial Institute conducted some of the most brutal experiments under MKUltra's project. His methods included physic driving, playing repeated messages to patients for weeks, and de-patterning, which involved putting patients into drug-induced comas and administering massive electroshock therapy to essentially erase their existing personalities. MKUltra might have remained secret forever if not for investigative journalism and congressional proofs. In 1974, New York Times reporter Seymour Hersh broke the story of widespread illegal CIA activities, including drug testing on unsuspecting citizens. The resulting investigations, the Church Committee, led by Senator Frank Church and the Rockefeller Commission, uncovered the horrifying truth about MKUltra. But they faced a major obstacle. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms had ordered all MKUltra files to be destroyed. However, in 1977, a Freedom of Information Act request uncovered a cache of 20,000 documents that had been misfiled, leading to additional Senate hearings. Thanks to organizations like the National Security Archive, which published over 1,200 MKUltra records in 2024, we continue to learn more about the program's scope. These documents reveal the CIA's decades-long effort to find ways to use drugs, hypnosis, and extreme methods to control human behavior. The legacy of MKUltra extends far beyond the 1970s. As author Stephen Kinzer notes, the techniques developed in these programs contributed decisively to the development of techniques that Americans and their allies used at attention centers in Vietnam, Latin America, Afghanistan, Iraq, Guantanamo Bay, and secret prisons all around the world. MKUltra stands as a chilling case study in what happens when government power goes unchecked by transparency. It raises profound questions about the balance between national security and individual rights that remain relevant today. Perhaps most hauntingly, many researchers and whistleblowers believe that mind control research didn't actually end. It simply went deeper underground. Victor Marchetti, a 14-year CIA veteran, stated in 1977 interview that claims the CIA abandoned such research were themselves disinformation designed to conceal continuing clandestine programs. If you found this exploration of government secrets compelling, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into hidden history. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.